Welcome back to another reading and correcting of A Familiar Death with me, Kindar. Writes and I, the Tiger Super. Today we are doing chapter. You move the body? Trembor yelled at the assembled council. Marlowe felt the same bewilderment and reaction to himself as he to the rough outline someone had painted on. It brooded. And as a consequence, neither he nor Trembor had been in the best of moods. They arrived. You had better watch your tone, young male, and elderly Lynx replied. We don't tolerate such impertinence here. If you need to address me, it's Councilor Tough, Arlian Tough. And who are you? Followed Crutch next to the body where the body had been found. There was nothing to tell about it. Someone had even cleaned the floor, the ammonia in the cleaner. Puzzle scrunching. There probably had been blood. Counselors. He was wasting. I'm registered investigator Trembor Golden Mane. Marlot could hear the glare he was giving Arlington. This was why no one body until the investigator had gone over how many clues. As usual, the council wasn't interested in making his. He stood and turned to watch the confrontation. The lynx had stepped around the table and the lion returned, turning the glare. And what are you doing here, Investigator Golden? I only ask Marlot to come deal with this. As thought his counsel looked at him. The lynx considered blackmailing the city, asking for Marlot to come this curse. If Marlot could have thought of a way to say no to Sharphone, he would have. Marlot tried to keep the sigh from sounding in his voice. Trembor is my partner. The lynx's ears straightened. Partner? Looked at the lion again. You can't do the work on your own? Shook his head and spoke. He didn't even try to hide the self-satisfaction. Maybe you need to come back if it's proving to be too much for you. At the table, the other counselor nodded and followed ground this. The old lynx had to be crazy if he thought Marlot would ever willingly sit back here. He was still as arrogant as he still considered himself the voice of the council, even if there was no such position. We share territories, said when he was able to. It benefits the outline. You know it's illegal to move a body before an RI has a right. We're within our right to lodge a complaint. But the good farming towns are the ones to handle the. Lynx waved the comment aside. Maybe if you'd taken my call when I first patted you, you would have been here before we felt the need of it. Think we'd let it stink up the place? Why didn't you get the local RI? Asked. Marlot was fighting the urge to fold back his ears and look away from every instinct was submit to lie back and show his neck. Cursed he did that. That lynx wasn't his. Marlot had left Marlot had left all of this behind when he'd settled in the city. The promise to himself that he never again hadn't earned his loyalty. Now he just years of ingrained behavior to go along with what he wanted. We have a local RI, or Titus Marlot. Released his territory when he was in the city. That's irrelevant. Another dismissive wave of the hand. We need him, and he came. Yeah. That was their typical organ. They thought things it's how they were. Regardless of what the reality was. He hadn't missed any. His mood matched the expression on the lion's face. Back and mouth open. Let the counselor know what he thought of him. Leave it. The lion looked back at him with a surprised expression. Gave a slight shake of the. The lynx would simply shed the anger as easily as it followed indicated the outline again. Can someone at least tell us what happened? How should we know what happened? Albereth found Niago's body when she got in. She out. Marlot didn't recognize the name. She was whoever cleaned the room before the council got to business. He looked at the 7 councilors still seated. Damn, deal with them. Not ask councilor as overbearing adults to run his life. Only 2 seats were unoccupied, Aliens and Nahegos. Second, only long enough for them to decide on someone. If Nahego had any relatives. He had a son, but he'd left the town. The bear's mother had died before. And he couldn't remember his father. The other seats were occupied by a cougaress, a badger, a tiger, a wolf, a haunt, not that counted on the court, staring at him as hard as the others, a fox, and a marten, which looked happy with him. Again, he felt the need. Didn't. Where is she? I'll need to talk to her and get her description of what he saw. Who was the first of you here after her? I sent her home, Alliance, and you don't bother her. She's traumatized enough already. I'll ground his teeth. Then I'll have to question whoever here saw the body next. The cougaress said, aren't the picture we took enough? I'll use his rising anger at having his procedures questioned to burn away the desire to look away from her glare. They had called him here, forced him to come. He was in charge of the investigation, not them. Arguing with her, any of them, would be a waste of time. They wouldn't talk. Want to. There came a moment before he trusted his voice. Then, Arleon, what happened? He was found. Perlestine called me, now that I came, saw Naego lying on the floor there by the table. He had a gash on the head, and there was a large pool of blood around it. Dead. Carl's stomach. They hadn't taken the time to grab lunch when they'd come directly here. The outline was 2 feet away from the table, examining the edge, sniffing it. Was there blood on the table? It didn't matter, Sir Lynx replied in exasperation. Glared at the Lynx, but shook his head. Stay silent. Then, what did you do? I called Bannerick. Bannerick? Marlot asked. He's the town enforcer. God dropped. They'd made Bannerick the enforcer? They'd made Margelo's thought to stop there. He couldn't think of that now. Forced his breathing to slow, and what did your grandson do? What do you think? Like asked in annoyance. He recorded the scene, then took Naego's body to his clinic and put it in the freezer. The enforcer moved the body? Trembor asked in disbelief. Marlot answered before Arleon could reply and insult his partner. Naego was the town's medic. Dead, there's no one else to move him. He thought, or any other question he needed to ask, or finally get away from it. You have the recordings, or do I have to get it from your grandson? Arleon took a data slate from a pocket and handed it. I also included a list of likely suspects. Of course. Why did they need him here if they don't study who the prey was? Why'd not Bannerick after them? Oh, still. That going there. Thanks, leaning closer and asking out. Have to bring him? He's my partner. Marlot replied, not bothering to lower. Work on your own, Marlot stated. His voice still. Marlot couldn't stop the glare or anger in his voice. I work better with him. Concludes chapter 2 of A Familiar Death. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you know when the next one's going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. The book, as well as the others in this, they are available on retail. If you want to support me, that's on my Patreon. Also get access to everything else. Listen to the live. It's Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Links are in the notes. With that, I wish you a good day.